This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday on the last two classes we have seen how to navigate between two entities. We have taken the example of what product and what suppliers. Let us take one more example for this navigation between entities. So for this basically we require what two entities. One is called as principal entity, nothing but source entity. Another is what dependent entity, nothing but target entity. Okay. So let me create these two entities first. So I'll go to SCGW. Okay. I'll give the project name. Let me give the project name something 615 project 6. Okay. I'll say navigation between what entities. Navigation between entities. Okay. I'll save it in the local object. Right. So first what I'll do, I have to define the data model. So here we have a structure here for importing that sales order header data. I can take it from VBAK table also. One second. But I can take it from VBAK table also, or I can go to a structure. So if I go to SC11 above dictionary, we have a structure SNWD underscore what SO. SNWD underscore SO. So in the EPM module, we have what sales order header table. Sales order header table. And for sales items also, we have one structure. What is that? BAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore what item. Yeah. Oh, not there. Huh? Hyphen. Again, hyphen underscore. BAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore item. Okay, so here it is. What is the table here? SNWD underscore SO. SNWD underscore, it's a table here. And this is a structure referring to the items. BAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore what? Item. So what I'll do is I'll create the data model. I'll create the entities based on this. So I'll right click on the data model. I'll say import what? DDIC structure. Import DDIC structure. I'll give the entity type name as sales order header. Sales order header. I'll give the structure. What is the structure name there? SNWD underscore what? SO. SNWD underscore SO is the structure. Say next. Yeah, it is showing you what? Many fields. Okay. So I'll select some fields here. Let me select node key. Okay, I'll select the node key. I'll select node key. I'll select SOID. I'll select SOID created at note underscore like this. I'll select some fields here. Yeah. So I'll select some fields. Done. SOID done. Say next. I have to make one of the field as a key property now. So I'll make SOID as what? Key property. Say finish. Okay, so I created one entity importing from the DDIC structure what? SNWD underscore what? SO. Okay. There's some disturbance there. One second. Okay. Right. So this is a data model I created, importing from the dictionary structure what SNW underscore SO. Similarly, I'll create one more data model, import DDIC structure. What is the DDIC? Okay, what is the name shall I give? Let me give the name as something sales order what? Item, sales order item, sales order item, and I'll give the structure name as what? What is the structure? I've just shown you that WAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore what item. Okay, so I'm providing some structure, existing structure. I'm trying to create the entity. Right, let me select some fields here. Okay, let me select SOID, item number, product ID, note, class amount. Like this, I'm selecting some field. I'll say next. Okay, now here I'll make this SOID and item number. SOID and item number as what? Key properties. I'm making SOID and item number as what? Key properties. Say finish. I created what? Both the entities. Both the entities are created. So if you see the data model, sales order header and sales order item done. Now let me what I have to do. You have to link these two entities now. So in order to link these two entities, I need to create what? Association first. I have to give the name for the relationship. So how do you create the association? This is association. I'll create the association. Okay. I'll give the association name as, let me give the name as association underscore SO header underscore SO item. Okay, association underscore SO header underscore SO item. What is the principal entity here? Nothing but source entity. What is the source entity? Sales order header. Okay. Cardinality. What is the relation between the header table and item table? One sales order might contain multiple items. I'll choose one here. I'll choose one. Here I'll give the entity type name as sales order item. Done. What is the cardinality? M na? So I'll take what? 1 to N. 1 to N means what? At least one item. At least one item. And there can be a number of items. Done. So association will be what? Created. Say next. Yeah, association is created. Done. And you can see here it is asking the referential constraint. What is the common property between these two? SOID. Na? So in the principal entity, sales order header, what is the key property? SOID. Here also I'll choose dependent property. I'll choose it as what? SOID. Done. So this is my what? Referential constraint. Nothing but what? Foreign key constraint where you have to map the common fields. I'll say next. Done. So this is my association set name. Finish. Already we have discussed this yesterday. That association is created. Association is created. Now based on this association, let me create what? Navigation property. Where do we create the navigation property? Always we'll create in what? Principal entity. So if we expand this principal entity, we have what? Navigation property. Let me create that particular navigation property. Acha. Navigation property is proposed by default here. It is proposed by default. I don't want this name, so I'll just choose this. I'll just choose this entry. I'll click on this. Okay, I'll create my own navigation property. I'll give the name as something to sales items. From header, I should be able to navigate to what item? To sales items. Done. Relationship name, nothing but your association name. What is the association name? Association underscore SO header underscore SO item. Above field name is some alias name. I can give a different name. Yesterday I give a different name, or else you can give what same name. Anything is fine. Done. So I created the navigation property. Done. Let me check for the syntax error. So what I have done so far is I created what two entities. Yesterday we created the entities I think manually. Now I created the entities by importing from what DDIC structures. One is SNW underscore SO and this is what BAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore what item. Then what we have to do, we have to link the two entities. We have to
Sir,
link the two. Yeah, Devanshish, bolo.
sir, if the report having multiple key field at that time,
Yeah, that's why I've taken multiple key fields. Na?
okay,
I
but
took
the
two.
but the referential constraint only for the one field, no?
Obviously, right? There is no item field in the header table. Na?
Okay, okay,
Understood? Agar if you have two common fields in both the entities, you equate both of them. Equate
okay,
both of them. Understood?
okay.
Yeah. So in order to link the two entities, we have to create what? First association. While creating association, we have to specify which is the principal entity, nothing but source entity, and what is the dependent entity, nothing but what target entity. In our case, principal entity is what header entity, and dependent is what item entry. What is the relationship? Each sales order might contain one or more items. So here the cardinality is 1:n. Then on top of that association, we need to create what? Navigation property. And then rest of the scenarios are simple. Okay. In the sense, yesterday we have implemented some 5 scenarios. Here also, the 4 scenarios will remain same. What is that? Yeah, if you observe here, in the service implementation, we have two entities, sales order header and sales order item. All the stub operations we know. So now, first let me implement what? This one. What is that? Get entity set. Let me quickly implement this. This is responsible for what? Returning the list of what? Sales order header data. So I'll right click on this, go to ABAP workbench. So if you scroll down somewhere at the last you can see we have what? Sales order header underscore what? Get underscore what? Entity set. I need to redefine this method. I'll put the cursor. I'll redefine the method. Sales order underscore get underscore entity set. So compulsory I have to what? Implement this. Okay. So because if you want to see the navigation property, these things should be available for us first. So retrieve the what? List of what? Retrieve the list of sales order header data. Okay. So how do you retrieve? Venkat, can you please mute your speakers? Yeah. Retrieve the list of what? Sales order header data. So again, just like for what? For products, just like for products, I've shown you some function models. Similarly, for this say EPM model sales orders also, we have some function models given by SAP. BAPI underscore EPM underscore their product na product we have seen supplies we have seen, yeah, SO, yeah, SO underscore get underscore what less BAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore get underscore list. What is the signature here? Doesn't have any mandatory import parameters. Tables, yes, it has got many written parameters. So I'm interested to get only the header data because in my entity I'm having only header fields. No? In my entity I'm having only header field. So I'll go for this parameter. What is that? BAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore header. I'm interested to receive only header data. So I'll declare data what? LT underscore or data T underscore SO header data type what? Table of so and so. I'll declare the work area W underscore SO header data type what? BAPI underscore EPM underscore SO header. I'll go to pattern. What is the function model? BAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore get underscore what? List. Done. So here I'm interested to get only what header data. So I'll receive that in the internal table T underscore what SO header data. SO header data. Done. Then as usual same logic. Okay. If T underscore SO header is not, I'm not getting from VBAK table, remember, because this is EPM module related sales orders. So we are the dedicated function model. I'm going for those things. So if T underscore SO header is what? Not initial, what I have to do? I need to what? Map the what? Map the retrieved SO header data, map the retrieved sales order header data, map the retrieved sales order header data to return internal table parameter. What is the internal parameter here? ET underscore entity set. ET underscore what? Entity set. ET underscore entity set. So I need to return it to that. So I require a work area. 1 second. Data. Also W underscore entity set. W underscore entity set. Like line of what? ET underscore like line of ET underscore what? Entity set. Like line of ET underscore entity set. Let me loop the internal table. What is the internal I got here? T underscore SO data. Loop at T underscore what? SO header data into what is the work area? W underscore SO header data. Done. Since I imported from the DDIC structure, the field names will be what? Same. So I'll directly say move corresponding W underscore SO header data to W underscore what? Entity set. Then I'll say append W underscore what? Entity set to what? ET underscore entity set. So I'm appending that. Then I'll say what? End loop. End loop. Did I use any if here? Yeah, end if and end method. That's all. Let me save it. Check for the syntax. T underscore S what is unknown now, right? Sorry. T underscore SO header data. Save it. Check it. No errors. Activate. So this will return what? All the sales orders header data. So very simple. How to get the sales order header data in the EPM model? We have to call that function model. I am receiving that data into my header internal table. I am receiving that into the internal table. I need to map it to what? Return parameters. So we have seen this many times how to map. I'm using move corresponding because anyhow I created the entity by importing from what? DDIC structure. So you'll have the same field names and same data types. So I'll not have any problem. So I can use that. So let me activate this. Let me register this once. So I'm registering the service with the gateway client. Let me maintain it. Okay, done. Done. Entity sets. Yeah, this one. I should not give any parameters here because we are trying to retrieve what? Multiple records. Execute this. I should get the list of what? All the EPM module sales order header data. Sales orders header data. Got stuck. Just hold on. It is still processing. It's okay. Let me execute and check it here. Yeah, here also it is taking time. Yeah, this is a real-time requirement only, now what we are discussing. In the last class also, what we did, when you want to get the data from multiple tables, we'll go for this kind of association. Okay, we use joins. We use joins in our select query. So in Odata also, okay, sometimes I may need to get the data only from the source. Sometimes I may need to get the data only from the target. Sometimes by referring to the source, I need to get the target details. So that's what we have seen all the 5 scenarios yesterday. And that's the reason I'm showing one more example. These are all the whatever we discuss the real requirement only. Understood? Where whenever you want to get the data from dependent entities, we'll go for this kind of scenarios: product and supplier, sales order header, sales order item, billing invoice header, billing invoice item. So whenever understood, we have to implement all the scenarios. Sometimes you'll get the information only from the source, sometimes only from the target, sometimes from both. So that's what you have seen the fifth scenario yesterday, where we got the data from both principal entity as well as a dependent. Here also, the same, we are going to cover all those 5 scenarios. But here also it is taking lots of time. The function all itself is taking lots of time. So when do we go for association means? Examples of this only. Whenever you want to get some interrelated data, we go for what? Associations. Okay, in one entity, I'll maintain the data related to one table. In another entity, I'll maintain the data related to another table. Okay, so you may get the data individually, or referring to the source, I may require to get the data from the target. So that is nothing but the fifth scenario what you have seen there. It's taking lots of time. Just hold on, I'll check in the other server also. Just hold on. If I don't get the result here, I cannot go back. That's the issue. Or else let me just cancel this once. Meanwhile, let me implement the other one, then I'll come back to this. Function will also is taking lots of time. Okay, let me implement the other this thing. So now one is getting all the sales order header data details. Now I should get the header data of what particular sales order. So what is that? I have to implement get entity now. So go to ABAP workbench, not implemented. So in my data provider extension class, implement redefine the appropriate method. What is the appropriate method here? Sales order header underscore get underscore what entity. So I'll put the cursor. I'll try to redefine. Done. So here what I have to do, for this we are going to pass a key property as value now. We are going to pass key property as value. So I have to read that input parameter. That input parameter will come through which parameter? IT underscore key underscore what? Tab. IT underscore key underscore tab. So I'll say read SOID passed through what? URL. Read SOID passed through URL. So it's a data W underscore key underscore iTab. Not iTab, I take tab only, like line of what? IT underscore key underscore what? Tab. Let me read it. Read table IT underscore key underscore tab into W underscore key underscore tab with the key. What is the key property in the first entity? I think SOID. SOID is a key property. Done. With the key name equal to SOID. Then I'll say if size of bars is equal to 0. If size of bars is equal to 0, okay. I'll go to other function and check. DAP underscore EPM underscore SO underscore get underscore detail. Get underscore detail. What is the import parameter here? I have to pass the sales order ID as input. Returns what? Yeah, returns. I'm not interested in item. I'm interested in header. So returns the data of the work area, but I don't know the sales order number. Let me try to do randomly. I don't know whether it's available or not. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Let me check whether this sales order is available or not. Oh yes, it is available. Done. Error data is available. Done. Error data is available. But why I didn't got here? Maybe there are huge entries, that's why it's taking time. Fine, leave it. So let me implement this one other. So what is the return type here? It takes what? Sales order ID as input. I'm interested in the header data of what particular sales order. So I require a work area of what type? BAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore header. Before that, I need to prepare this parameter now, which is mandatory. What is that? BAPI underscore EPM underscore SOID. SOID. Double click. It contains what? One field what? SO underscore ID. So let me refer to this particular structure. Yeah. What is that I have to do? Prepare the input parameter. Prepare the input parameter for holding what? SO ID. For holding the SO ID. So I'll say data W underscore SO underscore ID. Type WAPI underscore EPM underscore SO ID. Then again W underscore SO underscore ID hyphen what? SO underscore ID equal to what is the input work area? W underscore key underscore tab hyphen what? Value. Done. Done. This is fine. What is the next one now? Get the specific sales order header data. Get the specific sales order data. So I require a work area now. Data W underscore what? SO header type. This is what type here? It returns header data of this structure. WAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore what? Header. WAPI underscore EPM underscore header. Let me call the function model. WAPI underscore EPM underscore SO underscore get underscore what? Detail. I'm calling that. What is the work area prepared? W underscore SO underscore ID. I'm interested only in the header data. So let me receive that. Header data is equal to what is that I declare? W underscore what? SO header. W underscore SO header. Done. Then if W underscore SO header is not initial, if it is not initial, what you have to do? Map the retrieved SO header data. Map the retrieved SO header data to the what? Return type. To the return type. So I require one. Okay. Can I directly return to this? What is the work area name here? Yes, I can directly move to this. What is that? ER underscore entity is referring to the structure. ER underscore entity. No? So I'll directly move to that. So I'll say move corresponding. What is that? W underscore SO header to what? ER underscore what? Entity. To ER underscore entity. And for if is what? And if. Do we have one more if here? Yeah. One more if is there. That's all. I've activated that. Let me put the breakpoint for a reference. Activate the whole class. Generate the runtime objects. Okay, it is successfully generated. Done. Let me maintain it. One second. Did I got the result here? No, still it is saying. I don't know why. What happened to that function model? I'll check it later on. Okay, let me maintain this. I have to pass one sales order here. Na? So I'll just choose sales order header set here. Then I have to pass one value here. So in the parentheses, I'll say 5. 1 second, please. Yeah, 5. What is that I gave earlier here for testing? 5, okay. 8073. 1 second. This why it is what character of 10, huh? Okay. Character of 10. So I'll say 5. I'm giving some sales order. Execute this. Done. So I got the input parameter to this. One entry I got. Done. I'm preparing the sales order input parameter. Okay, I got it. I'm trying to call the function model. I might have got the data. I got the data. I didn't got the data. Why? I don't have data. What could be the reason? Hmm? It's not going to this block. I didn't got the data. Okay. Why like that? Achha, I give 9 only. Okay. 1 second. Resource not found. It is not available, it is saying. So probably my understanding is what are the input parameter I'm passing? It is what character of what 10. Character of 10. So keeping that size in mind, I'll do one. I'll try to use unpack function here, or we can use that the conversion function model. Anything is fine. I'll try to use unpack function here so that it will adjust the size. Unpack what? W underscore SO underscore ID hyphen SO underscore ID 2 what W underscore SO underscore ID hyphen SO underscore ID. Done. Let me save it, check it, no errors. I'm trying to use unpack function so that I adjust the width. Let me maintain. I'll choose SalesOrderHeaderSet. So here I'll say 5. Done. Execute this. Right, it is stopping there. So I'm preparing this parameter. Then I'm using unpack. Good. It has suffix with what? 0. Probably I may get the header data now. Let me check it. I'm calling the function model. Yes, I got the header data. So problem with the width here. That's why I'm using what? Unpack function. So when I execute that, done. So you can see here, I got the header data. I got the header data related to a particular sales order. I took, I think, only 4 fields created by, created at, and something more to GUID itself. Okay. So I got the data here. I got the data. It's working fine. So similarly, what I have to do, I need to implement what? I need to implement. So we are done with what? These two. I need to implement these two, and also I need to what? From header, I should be able to get what? Item data. From header, I should be able to get the item data. Okay. So that scenarios will take some time. Even this function model also, I don't know why it is not giving the result. It is saying lots of time. Let me check what is the issue. Okay. So I'll do one thing. Tomorrow, I will not take my previous batch. So tomorrow what we'll do is We'll have this class from 7 a.m. We'll have this class from 7 a.m. Yeah, we'll have it from 7 a.m. and we'll see this complete scenario. Understood? Because 1 hour may not be sufficient, so we'll start the class tomorrow, only for tomorrow, at what? 7 a.m. 7 a.m. and we'll try to cover the three scenarios and we'll see what is the alternative for this approach. Okay, there is some performance issue here. We'll understand that performance issue tomorrow, and then uh, to avoid that performance issue, I need to use one query option called as $expand. We have not discussed this $expand. We'll be discussing this. Okay, so only for tomorrow, I'll take the class at 7 a.m. so that I can cover more time. Today also I got late, so tomorrow I'll not take my previous batch. Okay, so we'll start this class at 7 a.m. Is it fine with everyone? Because now most of you are getting late to office, so that's the reason. Tomorrow at 7 a.m. we'll have this. Okay. I have not shared the yesterday's recording. I'll share it today. I have not yet converted. I'll share it today and convert. Tomorrow we'll have this UI5 class at 7 a.m. We'll discuss this complete scenario. Okay, that is sales order header to sales order items. All the 5 scenarios what you have discussed in the previous example, we will try to cover the 5 scenarios and we will have some performance issues slightly. To avoid that, we use something called as $expand. We'll discuss that tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we'll have this UIFI class at 7 a.m. And so I'll just wind up for today. We'll continue tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Hello, sir. Hello.
This conference will now be recorded.